Hey, what's up you guys? I know it's been a while since I've done any review videos, but with all the real life stuff I've been dealing with, it's been kind of hard to keep up with making content. But with the COVID quarantines in place and all this extra free time on my hands, I figure what better time than now to give the whole YouTube thing another go. So without further ado, today we're going to be taking a look at the Model O- from the brand that built themselves off the PC Master Race, Glorious. Gaming mice have gotten insanely good over the past couple years, and it's really exciting to see the competition drive change and new innovations. Ultralight was the original brand that brought the honeycomb style mice to the market, massively reducing the weight of the typical gaming mouse from the 100-gram standard that was oh so common not too long ago to the standard that we see today where mice have fallen under 80 grams. The Model O- is a direct byproduct of this competition. Weighing in at only 58 grams, Glorious brings us one of the lightest and smallest shaped gaming mice I've ever seen. And on top of that, it also provides an excellent ergonomic shape. Taking a look at the inside of the packaging, we can see that Glorious went with a very minimalistic packaging design with an integrated clamshell to securely hold the mouse and cabling in place. No instruction manuals or any other accessories were provided in the box. As we can see, this is your typical right-handed gaming mouse that has two buttons and a scroll wheel on the top and two side buttons on the left. Below the scroll wheel, we have a DPI button that changes the DPI from 400, 800, 1600, and 3200 by default. The mouse is equipped with the industry standard Omron mechanical switches that are common in most gaming mice from the brands that we all know and love, such as Logitech, Razer, HyperX, and so on. These switches are fairly reliable and mass-produced on the cheap, which is why they're so common in most of the mice that we use today. They can be found on Chinese reseller websites such as AliExpress for roughly 50 to 80 cents a switch. Looking at the cable, Glorious uses what they call the Ascend cord, an ultra-lightweight flexible braided cable similar to paracords that offer an almost wireless experience. This cable is approximately 2 meters or 6.5 feet long. The Model O that I'm reviewing today is the matte black edition. The mouse is also available in matte white as well as glossy black and glossy white. At the end of the cable we have a standard USB 2.0 Type A header. Through this cable, the mouse offers a 1000 Hz pull rate or 1 millisecond. When it comes to the sensor, the mouse is equipped with a PixArt PMW3360 that is considered one of the best in the industry. In regards to gamer RGB, the mouse is capable of over 16.8 million color combinations with 8 different effects. Regarding the mouse feet, Glorious went with their own G-skates, which are made out of 100% virgin PTFE, as well as rounded edges to prevent any unwanted friction or snagging. These mouse feet offer smooth and satisfying gliding when in use. There aren't any extra mouse feet included with the mouse, but in my opinion an extra pair of replacement feet would have been nice to have. But it's forgivable since the mouse feet are available for purchase on Glorious's website for $6.99 USD at the time of recording this video. Now with all the technical stuff out of the way, let's just take a moment to admire how beautiful this piece of technology is for a second. Alright, enough of that. Let's do some testing. Starting off with a basic sensor line test, we can see that the 3360 tracks perfectly without any noticeable jitters or sporadic jumps. Doing some 360 spins with my usual muscle memory, carried over from playing several games with several mice with the same DPI level and sensitivity, I was able to consistently reproduce the same results, showing that there's no mouse acceleration in play here. I can't say I'm too surprised at this point. Pixar sensors have been the norm in gaming mice over the past couple of years, and for good reason. They just work flawlessly the way we expect them to. Testing the responsiveness of the clicks on the human benchmark test, I was able to reproduce similar results to that of my daily driver, the Logitech G305, averaging around 190 milliseconds. Playing some aim-lab spider shot was a pleasure, being able to easily snap from target to target in rapid succession while maintaining control. Considering how lightweight the Model O is, it really felt like an extension of my hand. I also gave the mouse a try while playing some competitive Overwatch. Although I was running it without a mouse bungee, the UltraFlex cable had almost no noticeable drag that affected any of my gameplay. Having switched over to a wireless mouse as my daily driver, I didn't think I would need a mouse bungee anytime soon, so I actually ended up giving my original mouse bungee away. Looking over the build quality of the Model O-, the body is sturdy without any visible manufacturer defects to the human eye. When applying pressure to any parts of the body, there was little to no flex or squeaking noises, indicating that Glorious didn't compromise on a solid frame when designing such a lightweight mouse. There was one thing that I did notice when I applied pressure to the area underneath the DPI button, it would trigger the switch. So the DPI button must be closely connected to this part of the frame. Although I doubt this would ever be a problem during regular use, so it's not really an issue. Now here's a close-up of what the mouse buttons will sound like. Quickly looking at the dimensions of the mouse, it's approximately 4.5 inches in width, 2 inches in length at the center, and 1¼ inches in height. Checking the weight of the mouse, it's approximately 59 grams without counting the cable. When the cable is weighed in with the mouse, it's approximately 89 grams. With some simple math, we can tell that the cable itself is about 30 grams. The Moto O is definitely considered a small-sized mouse. I've had viewers ask me what my hand size is. Well, my hand is about 7 inches and 3/4, which is considered large by the standard size chart, but personally, having used medium-sized to large-sized mice in the past, such as the G703, the FK1, or G500, I personally prefer smaller mice, and so when it comes down to hand size, I don't think it's really a rule of thumb when it comes to the chart. It really comes down to personal preference. So in other words, take the chart with a grain of salt. Finally, taking a look at the glorious mouse software, bundled with the latest zip file, we have the firmware update and the mouse control panel software. The control panel software is fairly lightweight at around 2 megabytes and only took a few seconds to install. Looking at the DPI stepping part of the software, we can see that by default we have 4 different steps enabled, and we can enable a maximum of up to 6. The DPI on each profile can be set individually by the X and the Y axis, as well as having full control over the color of the DPI lighting under the mouse. I don't see this being very useful personally, but still kind of a nice feature to have. On the next tab, we have the RGB and lighting customization options. Here we have 8 different effects mentioned earlier with the ability to adjust the color in an effect with any of the 16.8 million available colors. There's also the option of adjusting the speed and the direction of the effect. Taking a closer look at the effects, there's Glorious Mode, Seamless Breathing RGB, Single Color, Breathing, Tail, Rave, and finally Wave. In the mouse parameter tab, we have the liftoff distance, which is adjustable from 2 to 3 millimeters. In the pull rate tab, the USB pull rate can be set to either 125, 250, 500, or 1000 Hz. Finally, the last tab lets us control the mouse click debounce with a range of 4 to 16 milliseconds. All of the mouse buttons are fully remappable, which is definitely a handy feature for some use cases. The macro editor was very straightforward, allowing you to create a custom macro profile by recording mouse clicks and key presses. After recording a macro, the profiles could easily be assigned to any of the mouse buttons. After assigning the macro I created to the DPI button, I was able to execute it in Notepad, showing that it works as intended. Looking at the mouse profiles, we have 3 profiles by default and the option to create more additional profiles, as well as importing and exporting existing profiles. The Moto O- also has onboard memory for the current profiles, so usage of the software after configuring the mouse isn't necessary. Okay, conclusion time. I've been using the Moto O- as my daily driver for the past week or so, and honestly I'm very impressed with the amazing build quality, the reliable hardware it's equipped with, how quickly I got used to using it, and the lack of cable tension from cable drag I was so used to with wired mice. My tracking and flicking was consistent and maybe even a little bit better than before due to the excellent control this mouse offers. Having only paid $39.99 and $7.99 USD for shipping to Canada during a sale on Glorious's website, this was a steal and is going to continue to be one of my favorite mice in my rotation of daily drivers. Even if this mouse wasn't on sale at this point, I would fully be willing to pay the $49.99 USD regular price after having used this. So in conclusion, I would highly recommend this mouse to anybody who's looking for a small, lightweight gaming mouse. If you're planning on buying this mouse or any other Glorious products, I would very much appreciate it if you could use my affiliate link in the comments. Wrapping this up, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, so if you enjoyed this review, please leave a like, comment, and hey, maybe even a sub. Until next time, later days.